our brain will always try to travel the road of least resistance. Let's talk about it. Hey, boo things, Lavanya Tryon here, author, trauma therapist, but most importantly, I am in this journey with you. And I want to tell you about brain synapses or brain pathways that we have, neural pathways that we have that get comfortable. Our brains love patterns. As smart as we are, they will play us for stupid, and they will go the path of least resistance as much as possible. That's why trainers build muscle memory. That's why you figure out when you're studying for a test, you figure out something that you can attach this to or associate it with. I think about this thought, this word, then I think about this. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's how we learned in math, the parentheses, exponents, we learned that through remembering a pathway, and I can travel this pathway. But reading something and then writing it down, my brain is going to remember either what I read or what I wrote more so. So I'm traveling a pattern. So here's the thing. Brains don't know if it's traumatic or not. Brains don't know if this pattern is unhealthy or not. It simply knows I recognize this pattern. So you ask yourself, why do I keep dating the same guys that aren't good for me? You ask yourself, why do I keep getting into situations where I feel like I'm being taken advantage of or used? Or you ask yourself, why do I always feel like that I have these issues with certain people in my family that keep reoccurring, or certain friendships that keep reoccurring? It's because your brain is used to that pathway. So when a situation occurs, your brain will say, do I have something in here that is familiar? Like, have I done this before? And your brain will say, oh, I recognize this. I recognize that the need to feel needed. I recognize what it feels like to be a savior in a relationship. I recognize what it feels like to be an enabler. I recognize what it feels like to be codependent. I recognize when a guy isn't good to me or isn't nice to me or he makes me initiate all the contacts with him. I recognize that, and that feels familiar. And so we mistake familiar for good because it's comfortable, even though it's dysfunctional, right? So now our brain may travel us down this pathway, and what's going to happen is you're going to feel anxiety and nervousness when you try a new pattern. When you say, no, I'm not going to call him back. And even though I'm worried and I'm scared that if I don't call him, he's not going to call me, I'm trying something new. And I'm recognizing that my worth is not attached to whether he calls me. And if he won't call me, if I don't call him, that's an answer that I want sooner rather than later, right? So I want you to challenge yourself that when you're going down a familiar road, when you find yourself saying, ooh, I've been here before, ask yourself is this comfortable, convenient, even though it's dysfunction? And challenge yourself to sit in the anxiety and the fear of doing something new as you're healing to find new patterns. Hope this helps. Follow for more. Meet me in the comments.